Hi, my name's Toni Sakaguchi. I'm an instructor at the Culinary Institute of America at Greystone. I'm going to demonstrate how to prepare Alaskan wild halibut with Ras Al Hanout. Okay, so first we're going to take our wild Alaskan halibut. Now you can consider the halibut to be the steak of seafood in terms of that it has this nice white delicate flesh, but it's still fairly meaty in its raw form. Okay, so what we're going to do for the spice rub is when you work with spices, you generally want to season your meat first. Okay, and what I find is that if I don't season the meat first and I put the rub on it, it tends to give a little bit of a gritty texture to the spices. So I just lightly season it on both sides, and then we're going to take our Ras Al Hanout here, and we're going to lightly season the fish too. And you don't want to have too thick of a layer, and you don't really want to pat it on or force it onto the flesh. We're just going to kind of lightly dust it. You know, it's all over. Okay, but you don't want to have any big patches of heavy spice. Okay, so they look like that. Kind of dust off the excess. The other thing about when you're working with a spice rub is the spices in this are not toasted because I know I'm going to saute it. However, when you cook this, you want to cook it over low heat because the spices are a little bit more delicate and they're more likely to burn. Okay, so there we have. So here's our spice rubbed fish. Turn this on. And we want to, as when you're sauteing, you always want to have your pan hot. But since I'm going to use a spice rub on it, I don't want it too hot. Okay? And then what we'll do, we're going to put it in the pan. Presentation side is going to be this nice white side. The back side, you can see right here, we want to have facing up. Okay? Main thing, because the first side that goes in the pan will be the nicest side when it comes out of the pan. Okay, so once our pan is hot enough, we're going to go ahead and add a little bit of oil. And generally for saute, I'll heat the pan first and then add the oil to it so that the oil gets a chance to heat up really quickly. I'm going to drop my fish in, presentation side down. Should just lightly sizzle. And the main thing on a spice rib is, like I said, you want to cook kind of over low heat because the spices will tend to burn, especially the turmeric. Okay. We're going to let this saute until it's got a nice golden color on the presentation side, and then we'll flip it, let it cook a little bit longer on the back side, and then we're going to finish it off in the oven because it's a nice thick piece of halibut. All right. Okay, so at this point our halibut's about ready to flip. You can kind of see it's nice and brown on the presentation side. I'm going to flip it over and let it cook for just a few minutes so it gets the same color on the bottom. And then since it's such a nice thick fillet, I'm going to pop it into the oven and let it finish cooking. Okay. Okay, at this point we're ready to go ahead and pop this into the oven. Okay. Okay, so at this point we're probably ready to check our fish. There we go. There you go. Beautiful. Okay, so it's nice and just slightly about medium well in the center. And to serve this, since we used Ras Al Hanout, which is considered to be a Moroccan style spice rub, what I'm going to do is serve it with a little bit of a golden raisin and toasted almond couscous and an onion and parsley salad with a tiny bit of sumac mixed in it. And now the great thing about spice rubs and working with the Spice Kitchen is that by changing the rub that you use, you change the whole flavor profile of the fish. So if I had a, let's say I had maybe an ancho chili rub, I could use that and I could put it on a piece of delicious wild Alaskan halibut and then serve that with maybe a charred poblano chili salsa with some corn and tortillas. Okay? But anyways, just other ideas for spices. So what we're going to do is take our couscous. Okay. And we're just going to kind of gently pile it on the plate. The one thing about couscous is that when you steam it, you want it to be nice and fluffy. And so you never want to compact it into a ring mold or force it into a shape because it's really not meant to be that way. It's meant to be kind of light and fluffy. Okay, we're going to take our fish. See our nice fish. Put it right on top. And then a tiny bit of this salad to add kind of a refreshing foil to the meat on the fish. Okay. A little bit of onion. Okay. And there you have it, wild Alaskan halibut with Ras Al Hanout.